Hello, everyone. X-Walk Hill Bethelite here. And I want to talk just a little bit about the Ronald Green situation. Basically, if you type in the word Ronald Green and probably, police or something like that, it'll bring up a video where the police are apprehending someone. And during the course of apprehending, you've got punching, you got, torturing and saying, hey, does that hurts, don't it? I think they've got like a 40-something minute video, and all of it hasn't been released to my knowledge. But from what you can see, you immediately can tell that you have people acting in a manner where they should be fired, if not have criminal charges pressed against them. The guy, I think, was handcuffed and then dragged across the ground by his ankles. It's just unreal. It's just unreal. So the issue, though, isn't necessarily that you have people doing things that they should not do. The issue is corruption. The issue is when those things are swept under the rug. This man ended up dead after this beating, and he got tased multiple times and everything else. Like, they did everything to him, and the guy ends up dead. Well, the police give a story about him crashing into a tree and dying. Well, the interesting thing is that they all got cameras on. They're wearing cameras. Why would you, number one, blatantly do things that would get you fired while you're wearing a camera and you know you're wearing a camera? Why would you blatantly act unprofessional with the camera on? Right? Because if anybody works from home, one of the things that some companies do is they will have you connect the camera. Now, if a person who works from home, COVID has got a lot of people working from home. If a person who works from home connects a camera to their computer because the company wants to keep an eye on what they're doing, and with the camera on, proceeds to go crazy. I mean, just do things that are just ridiculous. This is unheard of. This is unheard of. And not only are they doing those things with the camera, but they're doing those things with other police there, other people there that work for the same precinct, company, whatever. And it all gets swept under the way that these things happen is corruption. It's the same thing that happened with this situation where this happened 2 years ago. The video gets leaked, and now they're responding to it. The video gets leaked, and now the police department there is now making public statements. Now they're responding to it. Now they're, I guess, doing what they were supposed to do. Why? Because the video was leaked and hit the public, and as soon as it hit the public, it took us all of 10 minutes to watch it to know that something was wrong there. And they say they've been investigating it for 2 years. It's corruption. We can do this because no one's going to do anything about it. These types of things are going to continue to happen as long as police. As long as the police are the ones who are policing the police. Can you imagine working anywhere and you police yourself? You and your coworkers all police one another. It would be chaos. it would be chaos. Like, one of the main reasons that things don't get too out of hand at particular businesses that you go to, it isn't because the employees don't have bad days. It isn't because employees don't get angry sometimes. It's not because the employees don't want to do things that they shouldn't. It's the fear of, if I get caught, I'm going to lose my job. If I get caught, I may get sued. If you remove that, then you're going to have a problem anywhere. It's the same at Bethel. Just like this video hits the public, and then as soon as it hits the public and becomes blatantly obvious that these police were wrong, then they step forward and make a public statement. It's the same with Watchtower. With all this stuff they've been telling people millions now living would never die. They're telling people that they wouldn't die, that they were just going to walk into a paradise and never die. Well, they then go and tell people that, hey, well, the end will come in 1975, or then, they make a billion predictions that are false. They keep teaching people false things, but when do they step forward and make a statement? When does Watchtower make a statement? Once it's blatantly obvious. So once it's blatantly obvious that the end is not coming in 1975, that's when they come forward and make a statement. Once it's blatantly obvious that the end of the world is not coming as they predicted before the generation of 1914 passes away, then they step forward and make a statement. They've known, Watchtower knows, that they don't have the ability to make predictions any more than anybody else can make predictions, but they keep doing it. And the only time they do anything about it is when it becomes public, when it becomes blatantly obvious that now they've got to do it. It's corruption. It's, as long as this stuff stays in-house, we don't have to do anything about it. That's the same thing that's been going on with police precincts. Hey, as long as this stuff stays in-house, as long as these people don't have nobody else to go to when we do stuff to them other than like us, nothing's going to ever happen. Hey, we're not going to worry about getting in trouble. That's the only way you have somebody with the camera on, blatantly, obviously doing things that are wrong. No one would do that. If you work for a company and they put a camera on you, and then you go and you steal about 8 things, that's not going to happen. The only way that would happen is if you did not know the camera was on you. You're talking about a let's say company, precinct, whatever, where people are doing whatever they want to people with cameras on. The only way that happens is if there's not only corruption, but the corruption is so bad that they know that they gonna get away with it. They know this stuff is getting swept under the rug. Why? Because it's been getting swept under the rug. It's the same thing at Bethel. When I told you about the Bethel elder that was demanding money from us for rides to the congregation, and when one of the Bethelites that came to Bethel the same time as I didn't have the money, and he steps out the car, then that Bethel elder hops out the car like he about to do something to him and yells at him and berates him and everything. Why is he doing it so public? Why is he doing it so obvious? Why is he doing it in front of me? In front of it, his wife was in the car, in front of her, in front of everybody. Why? Because of his position, and he knows nothing's going to come of it. This little Bethelite that he's doing this to, that he's yelling at and demanding money for rides from, he's a Bethel elder. His position puts him in a situation where he can take advantage of other people. Because he knows Bethel is corrupt. He knows if I go and tell what he did, if that brother goes and tells what the Bethel elder did, we're the ones that Bethel's going to kick out. Bethel is not concerned about doing the right thing. Bethel's concerned about politics and who it is that has the problem. As long as these problems don't get out to the public, Bethel could care less. Bethel's not going to do anything. When I had the issue with my overseer and the things that were going on in that department, pretty much everybody knew. Once they figure out who it is you're talking about, this is one of the things that happened. I talked to the department overseer about what my direct overseer was doing as far as racism and things like that, and saying and things like that. Guess what my department overseer does, because he's above my direct overseer. What does he do? Calls my overseer in an office and asks him, did you do this? He says no. Then he's like, okay, I'm going to believe him. Why? Why would he believe him over me? Why would I come to Bethel and just make up a bunch of stuff? He believed him over me because of his position. He was an elder. I think he was pushing to become a Bethel elder. He was already an overseer. So that Bethel, there's more value on him than there is on me because I was new. Bethel didn't even know if I was going to stay. So you got somebody that they don't even know if I'm going to stay, meaning they're going to get years of free labor out of me. They don't know if I'll stay. But the person that I'm reporting for racial comments and everything else, he's been at Bethel for years. They've gotten years of free labor out of him. They know that in the future, they'll get more free labor out of him. The value there, that's the only thing they cared about. They didn't care anything about what he did or what he said or anything like that. It's probably a situation where he brought him up to the office. My department overseer probably talked to him more about who all knows about this, who all heard this. Is this something we can keep in house? Yeah, okay. Well, then you're good then. As long as this does not get out to anybody that can actually do something about it. That's the whole point, is a corrupt organization cannot police itself. It can't. It's just not going to work. You're not going to have police departments that are going to be able to police their own buddies. People that they've been family friends with for who knows how long. Now, if this is somebody brand new on the force, oh yeah, he probably get into all kinds of trouble. If somebody brand new on the force did what those cops did to Ronald Green, and that video gets back, oh yeah, we're not even gonna, risk this. Get rid of that dude. Get rid of that dude. But some police that have been there for a long time, police that probably know all the higher ups really, really well, they're just going to all police themselves? No. And it gets so bad to the point of covering up murder. A guy winds up dead. And there's a blatant lie that's blatantly, obviously revealed by the police video that he died, he hit a tree and died or something like that. I think the police told his mother that. Well, they know that they can blatantly lie about things. They can blatantly be wrong. No one's going to do anything about it because it's almost like when I used to work in the facility for mentally handicapped. Now, we had to be very careful with these people. I mean, let's talk about somebody that's got Down syndrome and everything else. Well, I used to work in a facility for people that had various mental handicaps. Well, if these people go home with so much as a scratch on them, we're in trouble. You got parents calling, you got people calling, hey, such and such came home, his knees are skint up. This better have been reported. Better be paperwork stating what happened, how they fell. I'm not joking. This is how a lot of these facilities are run. The facilities where they're, taking care of people with mental handicaps and whatnot. There were times where a person, one of the people we're taking care of, would just straight up slap one of the employees. I got caught a couple times. Not often, because I was pretty vigilant, but I got slapped a couple times. You just have to find a way to protect yourself. Like you just gotta be careful. You can't jump on one of these people that have the handicaps and beat them up and all kinds of stuff like that. There were times where a person had a mark on them or scratch on them or something like that. They go home. There is a full-blown investigation. And I'll tell you the reason why. There were times where there was a hole in the wall in one of the rooms. And who do they ask what happened? They ask the people that have mental handicaps what happened. Of course, there's all kinds of crazy stories. And guess what? They investigated. That one of the people with mental handicaps said that somebody was buried outside in the parking lot, the grassy area outside the parking lot. Guess what? People went out there and looked. Like, the reason why people in these facilities have to check everything, they have to be careful, they have to make sure every procedure is followed, is because they work for someone else, right? The people that they work for, that they could take a lot of the clients, the people with mental handicaps, they could take a lot of those clients and put them somewhere else. So because they technically work for the agencies that provide these individuals, that provide the people with the handicaps, they got to dot every I and cross every T. Now, the agencies that provide those people to us, as to how we get our money, they can send them to us with all kind of scratch. They can send them to us with, half dressed. They can send them to us with somebody wearing a pamper on the outside of their pants or just a pamper. They can do anything. The individuals that came to our facilities would tell us all kinds of stuff that had happened to them while in the facility that they live. There was nothing we could do. We work for them. We just gotta, I guess, rely on them to police themselves, right? So that's where you hear about all the corruption. I heard about all the corruption. I heard about people hitting the people with the disabilities because they got them upset, doing all kinds of stuff. It's the agencies where they lived where those things would happen because they policed themselves. Those people that work there know what they can and can't get away with. It's the same with the police precinct. If they all worked for somebody else, some other agency was how they got their money, oh yeah, they would have to dot every I and cross every T. There wouldn't be no Ronald Greens. They would make sure every procedure was followed. Why? Because if anything gets out, they're not going to have no more money, right? If anything gets out, they can get in trouble to the point where funds could get removed. That's what kept everything under control where I used to work. The fear of the money is going to be gone. If we don't dot every I and cross every T, and make sure, I mean, if somebody so much as forgot to eat their lunch, we can get in trouble. Because we're getting our money from other people, but the agencies where these people lived, I think they were getting their money straight from like the state. Wasn't nobody taking the money from them. All kinds of things happen in there. It's the same with the police department. They're getting their money from, this is tax money. Like they're not worried about if this video gets out, the whole police precinct, well, we just lost all our funding. We just lost all our support. It don't matter. They could kill 50 people. Tax money is still going to be going to that place of employment. That place of employment ain't going nowhere. That's where that corruption comes in. We ain't got to worry about where cops are. That job is always going to be there. Bethel, Watchtower, that organization, they police themselves. That money comes from flipping halls. That money comes from people's donations. The only time they're going to ever have to address something is when it becomes public. Like those false predictions. When those false predictions become public, that's when they have to address it. Just like the police precinct, after 2 years and that video got leaked, now we got to say something and come up with something to say. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Bethel. Jehovah's Witnesses, if something goes wrong, they keep it in-house. For the longest time, they've kept it in-house. How do we know that? The two-witness rule. Now, there were people saying, oh, Watchtower never told Jehovah's Witnesses not to speak to the police. Come on now, the whole doctrine is that everybody outside of Watchtower is controlled by the devil and that the brothers will take care of everything. Heck, tell you who to marry, tell you when to read what publication, and tell you if you can or can't accept medical procedures. And these people, Watchtower controls everything about these people. So yeah, they were keeping things in-house. How do we know? There would never have been a two-witness rule. If Watchtower had always told everybody, oh, it's okay if something happens within this organization, go straight to the police. Go straight to the courts. Go ahead and sue this brother or that brother, or anything that happens in-house, it's okay to take it out. If that were the case, why was there a two-witness rule to begin with? They made the two-witness rule because all of those things were being reported to elders, not to police. What the heck? Think about it. If the people were reporting to the elders and the police, a two-witness rule would be irrelevant. Who cares what Watchtower thinks as to a child needing two witnesses to being molested? The authorities are going to take care of it. Right? Explain to me the purpose in a two-witness rule if Watchtower wasn't keeping all those things in-house to begin with. If they weren't keeping things in-house, they would never came up with a two-witness rule, because all the people that were doing it would have been getting put in jail. Right? But Watchtower knew this will make the news. Like, all these people molesting kids in this small little organization, and we got this many pedophiles. This stuff will make the news. Let's keep this stuff in-house. Matter of fact, to kind of keep it under hush, two-witness rule, man, these kids need two witnesses to prove. We don't want to do nothing or let this stuff out unless it is proven, unless multiple witnesses saw it. Why? Because then you have to do something. Just like the police precinct, when Ronald Green, about dropped the phone, when Ronald Green got, killed basically, they're not going to do anything unless they have to. When people saw the video, now we have to. The two witness rule, that's all about, let's keep all pedophilia under the wraps unless two people see it. If there were two people that saw it, yeah, we got to do something then. Because if we don't, and it becomes known that we have it, then we get in trouble. But if two people did not see it, and it wasn't nothing but this kid's word against the adults, let's not do anything, because if we do, we're admitting to a pedophile problem. And this could get to the news, right? This could end up online, and we could lose money if people start leaving Watchtower. It's the exact same thing. Watchtower cannot be trusted to police itself. Why? Watchtower is more concerned about keeping a good name, and as long as two or more people didn't physically see this kid get molested, let's just keep it under wraps. Right? Because they knew witnesses, Jehovah's Witnesses, were telling elders and nobody else this stuff, for the most part. Otherwise, you can't keep it under wraps. The police would have arrested him, and everybody would know it was a pedophile. Like the two witness rule itself is illogical if Watchtower knew all these things were getting reported to police. Why do we need a two witness rule? Heck, we're not even going to be able to handle it. The cops are going to handle it. Right? The whole structure would be different. It would be the judicial hearing would have happened after the police investigation. There were no police investigations, right? So what did Watchtower do? Take care of the safety of the kids? No. As long as this ain't known, keep it under wraps. Two witness rule. As long as this has not gotten to the public, keep it under wraps. Well, there weren't two people to see it, so yeah, he's going to keep going around and molesting people, but we just want to keep this under wraps. The same with the police. They kill Ronald Green. They see the video. Whoever watches those and reviews those, yeah, but well, he's going to keep going around killing people. Yeah, but let's just keep it under wraps. We don't want the public knowing that, hey, the police, we can't police. Police can't police themselves. They can't police their buddies. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. But yeah, Watchtower, corruption. When it's corrupt, you have to change the entire structure. Watchtower can't police Watchtower. They'll just keep on coming up with false predictions. Right? When it comes to kids being molested, they'll come up with a rule, and the purpose of the rule is that if the molestation is not public, if a lot of people don't know about it, we'll keep it under wraps. Why? Because we know these people are not going to the cops. That was one of the most corrupt things that had ever happened. Right? Because what happened with the Catholics and everybody else, they can't know for sure that they're not going to go to the cops. Right? The Catholic Church does not preach that the police are the devil and that the members of the Catholic Church can't even become cops. Jehovah's Witnesses can't even become cops. Right? Let alone go and report things that were going on in the organization to cops. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Corruption is the same. Corruption is corruption. Whether it's Watchtower, police precinct, what have you. You got to root the whole structure out when it's corrupt, right? You got to root out the entire structure. If something is infested with termites, you might have to knock down the whole structure. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. X-Wall Kill Bethelite signing out.